A truth buried under our feet. Have you ever heard the claim that Jerusalem was never Jewish, that it always belonged to Islam, and that the people of Israel have no historical right to the land? It's a bold claim, and it's one that's repeated often in modern discourse. But here's the truth. The very ground beneath our feet tells a different story. In this video, we're going to uncover the explosive archaeological evidence that completely dismantles these modern narratives. This isn't about politics, it's about history. Real, verifiable, measurable history. From ancient seals and inscriptions to royal ruins and tunnel systems, what lies beneath Jerusalem testifies to something powerful. That the city has been Jewish for thousands of years, long before Islam ever came into existence. So if you care about the truth, if you're someone who values evidence over emotion, buckle up, because the stones are about to speak. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss more truth-based content like this. Share this with a friend who needs to hear the facts. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What surprises you most about the archaeological discoveries in Jerusalem? Number 1. The Quran never mentions Jerusalem, not even once. Let's start with something shocking to many Muslims and non-Muslims alike. The Quran, the central religious text of Islam, doesn't mention Jerusalem, not by name, not even indirectly. In Quran 17:1, we read about Muhammad's so-called night journey. The verse says, "Glory be to him who took his servant by night from the sacred mosque to the farthest mosque." But that's it. No city, no temple, no Jerusalem. At the time this verse was written, there wasn't even a mosque in Jerusalem. The Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock were constructed decades after Muhammad's death. So where did the idea of Jerusalem as the third holiest city in Islam come from? It wasn't divine revelation, it was politics. Number 2, the Umayyad power play, Jerusalem as a political weapon. During the time of the Umayyad Caliphate, based in Damascus, Islam was splintered by internal conflict. Mecca was controlled by political rivals, so the caliphs needed a new spiritual center to unite their followers. Their solution? Create an Islamic connection to Jerusalem. They claimed that Muhammad's night journey ended there, even though this wasn't part of early Islamic belief. They built monuments like the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, not to honor divine revelation, but to stake a political claim and rival Mecca's authority. It was never about spiritual truth. It was about asserting control. Number 3, the City of David, where archaeology speaks louder than denial. Just south of the Temple Mount lies one of the most significant archaeological sites in the world, the City of David. What's been unearthed there destroys the modern Islamic narrative that Jews have no historical connection to Jerusalem. Excavations have revealed royal palaces, massive stone structures, and ancient water systems, like the tunnel attributed to King Hezekiah. These findings date back to the 10th century BC, during the time of King David and Solomon. Among the discoveries are clay seals bearing the names of biblical figures and public buildings consistent with a royal Judean capital. These are not fairy tales. These are stone-hard facts that predate Islam by over a millennium. Number 4, the Temple Mount artifacts, echoes of Jewish worship. In the late 1990s, unauthorized construction on the Temple Mount led to the dumping of tons of soil. Archaeologists seized the opportunity to sift through it, and what they found was groundbreaking. Over 10,000 artifacts were recovered, including tiles from the First and Second Temple periods, Hebrew inscriptions including the divine name White W, Yahweh, Jewish ritual items, coins from the Hasmonean and Herodian periods. These artifacts directly tie Jerusalem to ancient Jewish worship and obliterate claims that there was no Jewish temple or presence on the Mount. If Islam claims otherwise, the rocks cry out in protest. Number 5, Herodian Stones and the Western Wall, built by Jewish hands. The Western Wall is more than a sacred site, it's living proof. These massive stones were laid over 2,000 years ago during Herod the Great's reign, forming part of the Second Temple's retaining wall. You can still walk up and touch them. They aren't myth, they're material. Their size, their style, and their inscriptions match Herodian architecture down to the last detail. These stones are testaments to Jewish craftsmanship and Jewish worship, not Islamic heritage. Number 6. Inscriptions of Yahweh, a name written in stone. One of the strongest arguments for the Jewish connection to the land is found in the name of God, Yahweh. Archaeologists have uncovered over 100 inscriptions bearing the name Yahweh, dating from 800 to 600 BC across Israel and Judah. Some examples include blessings invoking Yahweh written in Paleo-Hebrew, letters to officials loyal to Yahweh during the Babylonian siege, silver amulets with the priestly blessing from Numbers 6:24-26. These artifacts existed centuries before Christianity and more than 1,000 years before Islam. They bear the unmistakable personal name of Israel's God, not a vague deity and certainly not Allah. Number 7. Yahweh versus Allah, not the same God. Many claim that Jews, Christians and Muslims worship the same God, but archaeology and scripture tell a different story. The Bible is clear. The name of God is Yahweh. That name appears in almost every book of the Old Testament. It was known, honored, and used by Israelites throughout history. The New Testament writers, many of them Jewish, believed Jesus was Yahweh incarnate. The Quran, it never uses the name Yahweh, not once. No inscription, scroll, or artifact has been found indicating that Jews or early Christians ever worshipped a God named Allah. If your God has a different name, a different nature, and a different history, then he is not the same God. Number 8. Even early Muslims acknowledged Jewish history in Jerusalem. Contrary to today's political rhetoric, early Islamic historians didn't deny Jewish claims to Jerusalem. Scholars like al-Tabari and al-Muqaddasi openly acknowledged the Jewish temple and Israel's deep ties to the city. It wasn't until modern geopolitics came into play, especially after the formation of Israel in 1948, that revisionist history took hold. Today's claims that Jews never lived in Jerusalem or that the temple never existed are modern inventions. They are not rooted in Islamic tradition, and they are certainly not backed by archaeology. Number 9, the Bible is consistent and the earth confirms it. Unlike the Quran, the Bible mentions Jerusalem nearly 800 times. It describes its geography, its rulers, its temple, its battles. And time after time, archaeologists dig up evidence that matches these biblical accounts. King David's palace, Solomon's temple, Hezekiah's tunnel, Babylonian siege layers, Persian period artifacts from Nehemiah's rebuilding. The consistency is astonishing. The Bible doesn't just make spiritual claims. It records real history that is being verified by the spade. Number 10, the stones don't lie, the truth is set in stone. Islamic revisionists can debate all they want, but stones don't lie. The coins, seals, pottery, tunnels, scrolls and temple remnants all point to one undeniable conclusion. Before there was Islam, there was Israel, and at its heart was Jerusalem. When Muslims claim Jews were never in Jerusalem, they aren't arguing with modern politics. They're arguing with physical, immovable reality. A reality set in stone thousands of years before Islam was born. So what does it all mean? It means that history still matters, that evidence still speaks, and that Jerusalem's past cannot be erased by modern propaganda. The Quran may be silent about Jerusalem, but the Bible places it at the very center of God's story. Archaeology doesn't lie. The earth beneath our feet testifies to a truth that's been buried but never forgotten. The Jewish people have always been part of Jerusalem. Their God, Yahweh, was worshipped there. Their temple stood there. And their story is engraved in every stone, every seal, every scroll that time couldn't hide. If you found this video eye-opening, please like it, share it, and comment below. What struck you most about the archaeological findings? And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more powerful, truth-centered content. We're here to bring real history into the light. Thanks for watching, and remember, the stones still speak. Are we listening?